This story isn't just a famous case. It's a disappearance that split the world in two. Those who believe it was a perfect abduction, and those who believe everything broke inside an apartment, in silence, and was then tried to be covered up. And the worst part is that to this day, the mystery is still breathing. May 2007, the Algarve, Portugal. A vacation place. Families, kids with salty skin and towels in the sun. In Praia da Luz, inside a complex called the Ocean Club, a British family stays in apartment 5A. The parents are Kate and Jerry McCann, both doctors. With them travel their 3 children, Madeleine, almost 4, and 2 small twins. They don't travel alone. They share the week with a group of friends with children, which gives them safety, routine, normalcy. During the day, beach, pool, kids club. At night, always the same. Dinner at the tapas restaurant, inside the resort itself. The distance, they say, is short. Like having dinner in your backyard while the kids sleep upstairs, it was compared to. And yet, that comparison is misleading. There are hallways, corners, doors, shadows, and the apartment is not a house. It's a foreign place. And still, night after night, the children fall asleep with no adults inside. The plan is simple. Every so often, one of them gets up from the table, walks over, goes into the apartment, and checks that everything is fine. A quick check, a glance, a door that opens and closes, and back to dinner. On May 3rd, they repeat the routine. At around 9 at night, Jerry goes to check. He comes back. He says everything is in order. At another point, a friend also goes to look. And finally, around 10, it's Kate's turn. Kate walks to 5A. She goes in, and within seconds, the air changes. The children's room is at the back. Madeleine was sleeping in a small bed. The twins in cribs beside her. Kate walks up and sees the impossible. Madeleine's bed is empty. For an instant, her mind tries to sort through options. Did she get up? Is she in the bathroom? Is she hiding? But there are details that pin certainty into her like a needle. The door, which she says was more open than they had left it. A window, a shutter, a pink stuffed toy, the cuddle cat, on the bed. Then she screams, she runs, she rushes out to the restaurant, and she repeats a phrase that would become a worldwide echo. They've taken her. Someone's taken her. Within minutes, the resort transforms. Employees, guests, friends, police, flashlights sweeping over gardens, names shouted into the dark. Time turns sticky, slow, cruel. But Madeleine doesn't appear. Here the void is born. There are no cameras that capture everything, no scene preserved from the very first second, people going in and out, doors being touched, mixed fingerprints, decisions made in panic and fear. In the middle of the chaos, the first big sighting appears. A friend from the group says she saw a man carrying a child in his arms, crossing near the area. A detail that pushes many toward the abduction theory. But the days go by, and instead of clarity, contradictions appear. Versions that change, communication errors, and brutal media pressure. The Portuguese investigation begins with searches and interviews. Possible local suspects are pointed to. One of the names that emerges early is Robert Murat, a Brit living nearby, who offers himself as a translator and moves around journalists and police. To some, his closeness seems suspicious. His house, too, is relatively close. They search it, they question him, but they don't find the proof that would make him guilty. And over time, his figure deflates, leaving people with the feeling the case is filling with shadows, not facts. Meanwhile, the media spotlight becomes a monster. The McCanns appear on TV, give interviews, travel, seek support, turn their daughter's face into a global symbol. For some, that's logical. Make noise so that someone somewhere brings a lead. For others, it's strange. Why aren't they devastated in private? As if grief had a rule book. But the real earthquake comes when Portuguese police change course. They begin to consider that maybe there was no abduction. The statistic exists. and it's uncomfortable. When a small child disappears, often the answer is within the closest circle. And with a scene contaminated from the start, the investigation becomes a puzzle with stained pieces. At some point, they bring in specialized dogs, one to detect traces of blood, another to detect cadaver odor. The dogs alert in areas of the apartment. Later, they also alert in a car rented by the family weeks after the disappearance. That detail becomes gasoline. How can there be indications in a car rented afterward? Is it contamination, error, or does it suggest movement? The forensic analyses are discussed, leaked, interpreted in different ways depending on who's speaking. And when science doesn't deliver a definitive answer, the public fills the gap with suspicion. Kate and Jerry are declared arguidos, a Portuguese legal status equivalent to formal suspects. It doesn't mean guilt, but it changes the temperature of the case. They are questioned. Kate, according to reports, refuses to answer key questions at a crucial moment. The relationship with police breaks even more. Soon after, the McCanns return to the United Kingdom with the twins, without Madeleine. And the question hangs there. If your daughter is missing, would you leave? For some, it was the only possible thing. Continue the search from home, protect the other children, survive. For others, it was unthinkable. In time, the case is officially closed in Portugal, but it doesn't die. Years later, British police reopen the file. There is talk of new reviews, resources, specific operations, lines of inquiry that can't be revealed. Money is spent, a lot, and the public wonders, are we closer, or are we only feeding the same mystery? New hypotheses emerge, some reasonable, others delirious. A planned abduction, a thief caught off guard, a child who wakes up and leaves to look for her parents, a domestic accident, a fall, a blow, a cover-up, a criminal network. The problem with every theory is the same. The central piece is missing. Madeleine is missing. The final evidence that would close the story is missing. And then, over the years, something happens that would be unthinkable in any other case. The case becomes a mirror where each person sees what they already believed. For some, the system failed in the golden hour. For others, political and media pressure twisted decisions. For others, the truth is buried under procedural mistakes and fear. The only sure thing is the saddest one. A child vanished from a room where her little siblings were also present, sleeping without waking up. A family was shattered. 2 countries clashed in protocols, cultures, and egos. And a community in Portugal carried the stigma of being the place where it happened. Today, if you go back to Praia da Luz, the sun still rises. People still have dinner. Kids still run near the pool. But if you stand still for a moment and look toward where that apartment was, it's hard not to feel a question lodged in your chest. What really happened that night? And if someone knows, why, after so many years, are they still silent? If you like this story, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when we upload a new video. And leave a comment. What case or story do you want us to cover next?